Hello, everyone. Uh, my name is Ljubiša Iličić, or everyone can call me Lou. I'm going to be with you there during the summer camps, and I would like to share with you some facts about the rules of teaching and some framework under which we are making certain rules and build up some expectation towards organization of your lessons. So, let me start with an intro. After this intro, I'm going to go through 13 points that build up the framework and rules under which you should define and organize your lessons. And then I'm going to make just a quick conclusion and sum up of everything what we said. So, firstly, we would like to emphasize that here in friLingue, we are not operating as a typical primary or secondary school. Therefore, the lessons should be different, and we try to be that is more fun for the children. Teachers, you have a lot of freedom when you're planning your lessons, and you're encouraged to draw upon your own experiences, hobbies, and expertise when preparing your courses. Unlike schools, we don't have a program or syllabus to adhere here. Therefore, individual improvement is the key and is added by our smaller class sizes, which is approximately on average 6 children per class. So now let's go through these 13 different points. I mean, of course, while I'm talking, there on each slide, for each point, you're going to see some general keywords and most important facts about what I'm talking. So the first one is like engage with the children. So this sounds obvious, but it's important that you engage with the students during the class. So don't simply hand out constant worksheets and exercises and have the children quietly working on them. Of course, worksheets are good in moderation and often necessary to assist the understanding of something that has been explained, but they shouldn't dominate the lesson. It's also important to get the kids to interact and engage with each other as it makes a much better atmosphere in the class. Uh, Communicate in the language you are teaching. So with some of the lower levels, it isn't always possible, but in general, you should always try and speak in the language that you are teaching. So kids won't learn French very well, for example, if you are speaking English or German most of the time. Of course, sometimes more translation might be necessary and some difficult explanation might be better delivered in the kid's mother tongue, but always explain it in the language you are teaching first and only translate it if there are some kids who haven't understood. Often it's quite good simply to pretend that you don't speak their mother tongue. Encourage the kids to talk. Sounds simple, but most people's biggest fear when they start learning a language is to talk. Usually because they are timid about their accent or fear making mistakes. The small class sizes give them a real opportunity to express themselves in a carefree environment. The most important thing when learning a language is to make mistakes. Encourage everyone to speak without fear. So making mistakes, it's not a problem. Please forward this to the children. Videos and visuals. Visual aids and videos are very important and can often capture a child's interest in class. So you're encouraged to use them. It is, however, important to ensure that you keep it relevant and somewhat educational. Use film scenes or episodes to help with understanding or make them relevant to theme or concept that you have been doing in the class. Don't show an entire film for the whole lesson. Please don't do it. Kids can watch films at home, so this doesn't make any kind of constructive class. If you are going to do that, you would be as well be able to hand them out a copy of War and Peace, for example, a novel and just come at the end of the week and tell them to read it in the meantime, which obviously doesn't make sense at all. Grammar. Uh, while it's important to explain the grammar in order to use a language, you should always try and teach it in an interesting way. Like, don't just go too deep in theoretical way. So, of course, you need to do a theoretical way, but then after that, please follow up with different kind of funny explanation or worksheet with a game or role play exercise. Games and interactive lessons. So again, quite an obvious thing to say, but kids, they do enjoy games. So there are many educational games to choose from Time's Up, Stop the Bus, Taboo, and so on. These all can be very good for testing and improving grammar and vocabulary in a fun way. Interactive lessons such as role plays or group exercises are also great ways to make lessons more interesting. Use your skills and hobbies. If you have a particular hobby or skill set, don't be afraid to use it in your lesson. If you study journalism, for example, perhaps you could make a class magazine or newspaper. If you're good in art, you can always try to implement it into your lesson. Anything you can do that you think that can make lesson more fun, don't be afraid to use it in a way how it makes sense. We personally love new and innovative teaching methods in friLingue. The kids' interest. Find out what things the kids are interested in and try to use it in the lesson. If you find out that some kids like a particular type of music, perhaps you should use this in the lesson. Or perhaps you could center a lesson around celebrities or hobbies, giving the students a chance to express their interest and passions in the language they're trying to learn. So, kind of try to find out what they like to read, talk about. Creativity. Being creative is a great way to get into a language. Story writing classes and other creative lessons can develop language skill in a captivating way that inspires the imagination. Lessons that require the class to create their own superheroes or summer camps or whatever can really capture a kid's imagination and help set our lesson aside from the rudimentary programs that they're just get used to do in schools. Your culture and nationality. So it's always a good idea to use your background and culture in a lesson as it helps the kids to learn about the culture and life behind the language in places where it is spoken natively. So if you are from France or UK, US, Ireland, teach the culture and customs of your native country. Even if you are from Switzerland, for example, you can teach the class about traditions from your home canton. This also helps the class get to know you better as they discover a bit more about where you come from. Homework. Here, very simple explanation. Please just don't give them homework. The kids are also on holiday while they're in the camp, and you're not their high school teacher, so let them enjoy their free time in this sense. Inappropriate topics. Uh, Please don't use inappropriate topics. Some controversial topics can be all right as long they are used responsibly. Just please use your common sense. For example, a debate about whether or not marijuana should be made legal for medical use, it's okay. But debate about whether joints or bongs are better, it's quite obviously not okay. The saying goes for sex and violence. Please don't do lesson about sex position and the best way to kill people. If you thought that any of these things were okay, then probably friLingue is not a place for you to teach, and we advise you to get some psychiatric help. Just making some jokes. But I mean, just please use your common sense and don't bring any kind of topics that can make any kind of problems there. Inappropriate language. Once again, very obvious stuff here. Please don't swear or use threatening and abusive language towards the kids at all time. Of course, not only during the lessons, but also during activities and all the time that you're spending there with the children. So F words or whatever similar, please don't let that it gets out of your mouth in front of children at any time while you're in the camp. So just a quick conclusion and summary. I hope that this guideline has been useful for you and that you are now have a better idea of how to plan and deliver your courses in friLingue. At the end of the day, there are three important things: that the kids like you, that they have fun, and that they learn something. So we look forward to welcome you to the friLingue family and hope that you will enjoy working with us. So bye bye and have a lovely day.